So, at this stage, maybe let me define sanitation. What is sanitation? We can look at it from different points of view. But our definition is sanitation has to include the safe management of human excreta, usually by means of toilet that confines spaces in two places. And the language I'm going to use this morning, I'm afraid I don't want to ruin your appetite. But these things must be said. Because if we don't talk about them, we shall not do nothing about them. You know, so some of the language is really not exactly pleasant, but these things that I've decided on this campaign, raising the agenda of the plight of those who are really excluded, that these things must be discussed. We have to move out of our comfort zone and discuss them because they are challenges. So the inability of taking care of this, such services, which in advanced societies are already taken for granted, has really continued to elude all of us and must be discussed. So, in the fullest sense, sanitation therefore includes environmental cleanliness, hand washing, hygiene, garbage removal, and wastewater disposal. So, beyond providing, toilet facilities, we have also to look at the environment within which we operate, general cleanliness, the culture of washing our hands, the culture of cleaning up, etc. So the concept of sanitation is clean living, free from contact with excreta, disease-carrying agents, and the like. And this looks so common sense that you would wonder why are we discussing it here at the 19th Congress of the Soroptimist. You would have thought that this should have been taken care of a long time ago. So, there are some factors though which have created the sanitation crisis. Why do we have a sanitary crisis? Particularly in the cities and towns in the urban areas. The first one is rapid urbanization and increasing urban poverty, which are the primary factors behind this crisis. Over 50% of the world's population, as I've already said, is now living in cities and towns. I'm afraid this has happened in such a rapid manner that conventional urban planning, conventional investment in cities has just been overtaken by them. So we are in a situation now where 1/3 of the urban dwellers is living in slum settlements, informal settlements, normally without access to safe drinking water, to sanitation, normally overcrowded. And overcrowding is defined by the United Nations as 2 people who shouldn't be sharing a bedroom doing that. We are talking about shacks and durable building materials and of course lack of security of tenure. When those factors, the 5 of them combined, either one or collectively will say that the living water is a slum settlement. So we are really faced with 1 billion residents in this situation, and I'm afraid they are increasing. And a business as usual scenario, by 2030, we shall have 2 billion slum dwellers. The majority of them women and the children they support. As I speak now, Africa is the fastest urbanizing continent in the world. By 2030, even all the majority of Africans will have moved to cities and towns. But the sad news is that over 60% of Africa's urban population is living in slums and squatter settlements. That means without safe access to safe drinking water and sanitation. Asia is suffering at 46%, Latin America 33%, and according to our criteria, the comprehensive one, even in the advanced societies, we consider 6% of the people in the north also living under what we call slum-like conditions. But the challenge, obviously, is much more concentrated in the south. So this rapid and chaotic urbanization is causing us serious problems which we have to prevail. And sanitation, for one thing, because people are not willing to discuss it. I can tell you that when we were preparing to go to Copenhagen to the World Summit on Sustainable Development, I was assisted by Sir Richard Dolly, a number of you might know him. He was very active in the WASH campaign. And I had taken this debate into the UN General Assembly. And it was not easy to discuss toilets and flushing and latrines, and people sort of, what are these people? They look so primitive, where are they coming from? But we were insistent. And as a result, we were able, campaigning in Johannesburg, to include the sanitation target as part of the Millennium Development Goal project. So, ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations has committed itself, therefore, to have the proportion of people without access to water and sanitation by 2015. This is a Millennium Development Goal 10. But I'm afraid when it comes to delivery, we are lagging behind. Despite this commitment, because of the sheer size, the pace at which people are moving to cities and towns, we are just lagging behind. And I would like here to quote, I am a Tanzanian, I come from Tanzania, and I would like here to quote our late President Mwalimu Nyerere, our founding father of the nation. He said, and I quote, he said, of course, in matters of hygiene and sanitation, half of the problem does not need money. It is also a cultural problem. It is an attitude, it is upbringing, it is a socialization process that from the beginning people have to be socialized to clean after themselves, to take care. And I think that's where, particularly as mothers, the women movement has a special role to play in this. But having said that, in the urban setting, because of overcrowding, the chances for self-help in this regard also become very limited. Because people are living in ever-crowded spaces, the freedom of movement, the freedom of action, the freedom of waste disposal becomes very limited. So there is really a need for the public to come in. And the challenge of sanitation, speaking as a woman and predominantly women audience, I can say that the cost is very high for girls. Because you can imagine the challenges during the menstrual cycles facing girls in this situation. Girls dropping out of school because they are not able to have sanitary towels and things of the kind. Many schools do not have proper sanitation facilities. And this becomes a challenge. So I'm going to give an example from India. 600,000 primary and upper primary schools in India. Only 1 out of 5 has a urinal, and almost none has a separate facilities for girls.